Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much everybody for coming back to my channel, and thank you to everybody who listens on the podcast. It is May 13, 2024, Monday. I'm here to speak about something that I have spoken about in the last previous episodes regarding if you know and if you have a family member living right now in a nursing home, please check on them. If you live far away, pay somebody to check in regularly with them, because I think it's our duty, even though if we cannot physically do the work of taking care of an elderly parent or family member, it's our duty to look up for them, specifically if they cannot care for themselves or speak on their own, or ask people for whatever it is that they need. I think don't get distracted by the day-to-day things that happen in your life. Work, I know life can be chaotic, but if you have, this is an alarming message. If you have a family member living in a care facility right now, please check on them regularly. If you, like I said, if you cannot make it on a regular basis, right now there's a lot of teenagers, somebody you can trust, that maybe at the end of the summer you can write a letter of recommendation. You can pay them to go at least 3 times a week, to even go in for dinner time, anything, right? Come up with a plan so that they can be your eyes and ears and see what they see, and see any change in behavior of your loved one. It's so important to do that. Okay, let me tell you guys, I'm going to speak about a very tragic story, something that happened to a nursing home resident who got actually pregnant by one of the workers there. Somebody who needs hands-on help 24/7, living at this facility, a person who cannot speak for themselves, a person who needs help, like I said, for everything, got pregnant by one of the workers. Okay, this is happening right now in the nursing homes facilities across the U.S. It is not the first case that we have heard. Okay, I think 2 years ago or last year something similar happened. You have to check. There's a lot of evil out there, and when you have a family member or a loved one who's in one of these facilities, who's very vulnerable, you know you are you need to care for them, at least by showing up, asking questions, seeing any change in behavior, and also see how they react. When the CNNs come in the room and you're there, you always look to see how they react. Okay, sometimes we think, oh my goodness, I don't want to deal with something like this, but they're vulnerable, they need your help, right? So I can relate to this because my mom used to be in a nursing home for a couple of years, and then the pandemic happened, and then she kind of went back, and me and my sister, we kind of like go in. We alternate every day to go in. We call, we speak with nurses, we ask questions, and we see if we see anything that is alarming. We will say it. There's a caution also when you're giving a complaint to this facility. You have to be so cautious too, because at the end of the day, your family member is the one who stays there overnight when you're gone, right? So always have a sense of cautious when you're giving a complaint. It's crazy, but you have to do that. But I think the best way is to put the effort in. If that is the last resort that you have to rely on to put a family member or loved one in a nursing home, check on them, pay somebody to help you, like to alternate some days, and to report back to you. How did you see my mom? How did you see my dad? Any changes? Who was working? What was the nurse name? Any information that you can get to help you. Even ask them, hey, can you take a photo when you go visit them? I want to see them, or something like that. Or do FaceTime, anything. So this is a tragic story of another nursing home worker who impregnated a disabled resident. Okay, this happened in Chicago. So I'm going to read to you this article briefly. Chicago man accused of impregnating disabled resident at Geneva nursing home charged with sexual assault. Okay, A 22-year-old man, guys, a 22-year-old man has been charged with sexual assault for allegedly impregnating a disabled resident at a Geneva nursing home in Chicago. Kane County prosecutors say an arrest warrant was issued for Isaiah Fields after his DNA came back positive. Fields was taken into custody on Friday. This is crazy, guys. A 22-year-old, you would think, is right now at that age getting ready to probably, finish college or probably done with college, trying to build, get life on their own, probably planning on getting married, things like that. And this man was offered a job to help other people in need. Because for you to accept a job at a nursing home, I would assume, right? I would assume that your heart is about helping other people, okay? I understand a lot of people that work in nursing homes, they just need a job, so they just take whatever is available, yes. But a lot of the times, we met really good people also that work in nursing homes. And you could see it. You don't need to be there 24/7 to see it. You can see the dedication. You see how your family reacts when they come to, like I said, when they come in the room, and you can see their dedication and their concern. Anything that they might want to tell you about too. So, in the other hand of that, there's also people who just take a job, right? This is gonna happen more now, guys. The enemy knows that Jesus is coming back soon. He's, like I always say, Satan is running rampant. He's going to use anything that he can to create evil in this world, okay? For a 22-year-old man to get a job and do this to somebody who's so vulnerable, like it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And because the Bible says in the last days, the love of many will grow cold. That's what I'm saying. A lot of these things are going to become even more, unfortunately, more and more is going to happen. Like I said, it's not the first story we hear something like this. It's not the first time that we hear something like this. So do your due diligence, because people can say, oh yeah, I have a family member in a nursing home, but they're like 4,000 miles away, and I can only go there for like a special occasion, things like that. You can find somebody from a church or whatever, somebody you can trust. Do reference check. Hire somebody who's willing to take 1 hour of their day to just go in and feed your family member dinner and report back to you. I'm just throwing out ideas or something. Somebody, even like a certified CNA that you can hire, who can show up at the nursing home. You give them full permission to do so, to check on your family member, to FaceTime with you, give you any information that they might need. Because I know we're living busy life, but if you want to care truly right now for your loved one, you have to do things like this, because they're vulnerable, okay? They are vulnerable in the situation that they're at, okay? Look at what happened to this person. Let me continue to read. The victim is a long-time resident of Marklew Heights Center in Geneva. A Western suburb administrators of the facility learned she was pregnant last month, and she already gave birth. So the resident got impregnated by this worker at this nursing home, and she already gave birth. And the DNA confirmed that he was, in fact, the person who assaulted her. In a statement, the state attorney called the actions heinous against a vulnerable individual. Prosecutors charged Fields with sexual assault and battery, saying he knew the victim has severe disabilities and that she was unable to give consent. Okay, you have a resident who's been living there for a long time. Okay, somebody who knew their condition. It is so sad, guys. It is so sad. A person who cannot speak on their own or walk on their own is put in this care facility by family for somebody to care for them, because the family obviously cannot do it on their own. And this is what's going to happen to them. Do you tell me that's not Satan doing all of that? You know that everything that's evil is the devil, okay? This young man, influenced by the enemy, committed that crime. And I apologize for any noise that you might have heard. But let me continue, guys, reading. Prosecutors allege Fields assaulted the woman between August 1st and September 5th of 2023. The King County Sheriff's Office had collected DNA samples from current and previous male employees of the facility. Mark Lone is a nonprofit founded in 1954 that provides 24-hour residential, educational, and therapeutic services to people with severe and profound developmental disabilities. The CEO of the facility said, since we first reported the case of sexual abuse against one of our residents on April 9, we have worked closely with the Sheriff's Office, and we are grateful for the diligent efforts as well as the support of King County State Attorney, which had led the arrest of a former staff member. So, let's keep this family in your prayers, guys. It is so sad that things like this happen. Unfortunately, guys, this is the world that we live in. Don't get, one thing about me, man, it's not that I'm like, I don't trust people easily. Sometimes people do tell you what you want to hear. You can call and, check on your family member, and they'll tell you everything you want to hear. Oh, she's doing great, she's doing blah, blah, blah. Everything's perfect. So if you cannot be there physically, send somebody that you know, somebody that you trust. Can one day everything be, oh yeah, she's doing great, she's happy today, all of that? Yes, of course, but I'm saying we rely so much a lot of the times on what people just tell us because it's so easy, instead of being like, I'm going to show up myself and go. I'm going to send somebody just to go, just to see. And also, one thing I'm going to say too, don't announce when you're going. Like, there's no, okay, I'll be there at 4:45. Like, no, because everybody will be in their best behavior. If you care, right, just show up randomly unannounced, right? You look at the visitation times and show up, and that's when you see things, right? And that's when you see, a lot of the times, not overnight, because I know they don't let people overnight, but that's when you see things. But it's hard work. Either way you put it, it's hard work. I pray for people who are dealing with some situation like this, when they have to rely on other people to care for their families. Very hard work, because as much as you think everything is good, they're still not with family. So sometimes, you're the only one who can provide that care for them. But you think you give it to the Lord too. You cannot just worry 24/7 either, right? If you go a couple of times and things seems to be in place, they're doing, if you say to them, don't do that, and they change and they continue to do what you request, meaning the staff, speak to the people that are out there doing the work, meaning the CNAs are the ones there one-on-one with your family members. They know the feeding times, they know all of that, and you go and tell them, and they do it, they're doing the work, then you can show up, but like, you also need to have peace, and you can work with God on that. You can pray to God about it. I know it's hard. When my mom was in a nursing home before, earlier, like in 2019, in the beginning, it was horrible. Like, I couldn't wait to leave work just to go. And then you will show up, and she will be like all peaceful in her bed, like, clean and peaceful, and you're like, wow, I drove over here like a maniac, and everything was fine, right? So that's something else, it's a struggle, it's hard work, but God is faithful in all of that. So pray for this for this resident that went through something like this. It's terrifying that she cannot even speak, and she got assaulted, and she got impregnated, she got abused. by this man who was supposed to be there providing care. God have mercy on this man who did that. A 22-year-old influenced by the devil to do something like this. Heinous act against another human being is crazy. And also to the family member of this person of this resident who probably thought, oh, she's been there for so long, they do such a great job. One thing you also gotta mention is staff at nursing home changes all the time. That's why you have to show up. Because you can say to a CNN today, hey, my mom likes this, my mom likes the other, and she likes watching this TV channel, things like that. And the next day or the next month, there's a complete different staff. So it changes often because it's hard work. I know that. So you have to, just putting them in a nursing home is just not it. It's a continuous effort in your part to make sure that your family member is getting the care, is getting the need that they deserve. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming back to my channel, subscribing and listening in all the podcast platform where you get this podcast. Let me know, guys, what you guys think about this, and if you have a family member in a nursing home, how do you deal with this? The care that comes from you, even though they're in a nursing home, there's also stuff that you have to do. Let me know what your process is in the comments. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good day. God bless. Hi, everybody. This is Julissa. I'm here to invite you to my podcast, Julissadesigns, and it can be found on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. You can join me every day as I make episodes of the latest news, real life stories, and I also share my favorite Bible verse. Hope to see you then. God bless. Everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming to my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And if you want to know more about me, you can always visit www.julissadesigns.com. Have a great day, everybody. God bless.